Hello, welcome to episode 73 in the Datapack tutorial series. We're in version 1.2.1.4, and this is a part 2, so if you're building this yourself, you will have to have seen part 1. We're going to update the travel map so we can select locations. Now, I've already done an update. Look at that. I've made a proper map. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Try not to laugh at it. It's as good as I can remember. Okay, anyway, so here's our map with our locations. Looks like I'm in London at the moment. So let's say I'm in London, a man comes to visit and he says, you've got to get down to New York to speak to this guy who's going to tell you about something. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the map. Okay, New York. There's New York. Let's jump to New York. I speak to the guy in New York and he says, well, there's this ancient tribe member down in New Zealand. So you've got to go to New Zealand. We've added New Zealand to the map. Let's go back. Now we've got New Zealand. Let's go down there. So we go to New Zealand. We speak to that guy. And he says, why don't you go off to Easter Island, where my ancestors came from? I don't know, I'm making this up as I go along. We go off to Easter Island, and then we no longer need New Zealand. We've done New Zealand. So when we go back to the map again, New Zealand's gone. Let's go back to New York, speak to the guy in the pub. All right, mate, how you doing? I go. And he says, thank you very much. So you got the idea anyway. I've been setting myself into adventure. So we've got a little, I wanted to use a marker, but you can't really spectate markers. It's all buggy and weird. So I've got, I think it's an item display up there. And we just spectate that. We look down and then we're using player inputs to move through the locations and detect when we press space to jump to the location. Cool. It's going to be a bit of a long one probably. And I imagine since we're in 1.2.1.4 and my VS Code doesn't seem to be working properly for that version yet, we're going to get a few errors, so we're probably going to take a while, so I should stop waffling and we should get on and build it now. Okay, let's start in VS Code. I've already added some folders and files rather than take 5 minutes adding them while you're watching. So I've added this control folder into map, and I've added these functions. They're all empty. And I've added summon viewing marker into setup, and I've added a utils folder with 2 functions there. And I've added some predicates. Okay, now it doesn't matter if you miss one out because you can just add it later as we're putting some commands in. Let's go over what changes I've made. I think all I've changed is in locations. Here we go. So we had 3 locations before. We had home, I think we called it bar, and office. Now we've got 4 locations, so that's one difference. And the other difference, each location now has a destination, which are the XYZ coordinates and the picture that where you're going to be teleported to. That's one difference there. I think that's it actually. Let's change some stuff. So in load, I don't know if we did this last time. I think we added this last time, but just in case we didn't, we need scoreboard player set, map input cooldown, var 10. That's going to be the cooldown for when they're pressing inputs, because otherwise you keep your finger on the key for like a microsecond too long and you spam a load of commands. We don't want that happening. So now we have a cooldown, so you have to wait at least half a second before it'll run again. And now let's go off to markers macro, because in here, this is where we're making, if you remember from last time, we're making the list of active locations. And I want to say, if the current index that we're being passed is the same as the player's current location, then store the active location amount. The active location amount will be its position in the active markers array. So I'm going to convert a couple of things to score first. So I'm going to do scoreboard players set location index var. So the location index is going to be set to this index that we were passing before. And now I'm going to get the player's current location and store that. Execute store result as the score player location index var run data get from storage ID map player location. So now I've got 2 scores. Now if they are the same, then I'm going to save the position in the active location list. So let's see. So well, if they're the same, so execute if score, and we'll just copy that one, equals that one. So if those 2 are the same, then I will store the result into storage, into ID map, into selected location as an integer, multiply it by 1, and we will run scoreboard players get, and we're going to be saving its position in the active locations array. Let's save that. Okay, done. We've done the load, we've done set up locations. Let's do summon a viewing marker where we're going to view the map from. So I found the position for the size of my map just underneath this block was a pretty good place. So I'll get those coordinates. Fill, tab, tab, tab. Copy. Let's just press F3B. Check there isn't one there already. No, there isn't. Let's go to Setup, Summon Viewing Marker. Summon Minecraft Item Display. Now, I tried to use a marker entity, but they're all buggy if you try to spectate them. So we're not using that, we're using an item display. I want it to be looking down at the map, so let's give it some rotation. Put 0F for its, what's that, I suppose, it's your left and right. And we'll put 90 for its pitch, so it's looking straight down at the floor. And I'll give it a tag as well. Tags viewing position. We'll save that. We'll go back. We'll do a reload. We'll do function. Summon viewing marker. Should be there. F3B. Yeah, it's under there, and that's its line of sight, so it's looking down. Well, I suppose it could be here looking up, but we summoned it here. We know it's here. So there it is looking down at the map. That's nice. Okay, so that's done. We want to be able to view the map. So let's go to utils view map. First thing, we'll tag the player. Tag s add viewing map. And we'll set them into game mode, spectator at S. And then we'll make them spectate that item display. Spectate any entity whose type equals Minecraft item display, whose tag equals viewing position limit equals 1 at S. Save that. And I think I'll do the update and view map as well. Update and view map. We're going to call 2 functions. First function was going to call the existing function we've already had, the map update function we made last time. So let's call that function. Function map update. And let's call the function we just made as well. View map. Save that. Okay. That seems alright. Let's have a test. Let's go a bit further away. F3B. Turn that hitboxes off. Let's do a reload. Let's do function, and they're utils, so probably at the bottom somewhere. Update and view map. Bang. Okay. So that's what the map's going to look like. I think it's pretty cool, my world map. Try not to laugh at it too much. We obviously can't do anything yet. We can't look around, and I can press shift and just escape. I'm free. Okay, so we obviously don't want that. Let's get back to creative mode. Now, I've pressed shift and escaped, so I've still got that viewing tag. And we're going to use that. Say, hey, you shouldn't be escaping. And you'll have noticed if I do update and view map, if I press shift quickly, you'll notice that I've moved away from the item display. So we can use that. So what we're going to basically do is say, hey, if you've got viewing map and you've moved away from that item display, we're going to send you back to the item display. So let's close these windows we've got open. And I think probably we'll need to go to the tick to do that. But in tick, we're going to need some predicates as well. So let's do some predicates. Let's do our predicates, get them out of the way. Input jump, going to check if we press jump. Left, left, right, right. Input any is going to check if we press any of these. Let's start with input any. Off to misode. It's going to be an any of. Condition any of. Terms. Entity properties. Entity. This. Predicate. We're looking for input. So we have to be type specific because we can only get the input from a player because obviously nothing else has inputs. And there's our input. And we'll just pick the left one there. True. I'm going to copy that. Take it back, go to my input any predicate, I'm going to paste it in. So it's looking for any of, well, we've only got one at the moment, we've only got left. So let's copy left, copy, and let's put a comma and paste another one. Now it's going to be looking for left or left. Well, that's pretty useless. Let's look for left or right, and then we'll put another one. And here now we'll change this one to jump. So, any of these terms or conditions. So if I press left, if I press right, if I press jump, this will return a true. Cool. Let's do the others. Let's reset. This isn't going to be any of because we're going to be checking for a specific key. So we'll just say entity properties. Entity is this. Predicate, type specific. Type is a player. Input. And we'll do left again. We'll copy that. Copy. We'll go to the left predicate and just paste that in. We'll go to the right predicate, just paste it in again, but I'm going to change that left to a right. And we'll go to the jump, paste it in, and we'll change that left. Go on, have a guess. What do you think it is? Jump. Okay, let's close those. Predicate's done. Right, where do we want to go next? Tick function. Where's our tick? Tick, tick, tick. There we are. Let's check if the player presses any key. So let's execute as any player whose tag equals viewing map. If they're not viewing the map, there's no point processing their inputs. If predicate input any, then run function, and then we'll have our new one, tick input. Tick input. Okay, so if they're viewing the map, check their inputs. Now, if they try to escape when they're supposed to be viewing the map, execute as all players whose tag equals viewing map, unless there is an entity whose type equals Minecraft item display, whose tag equals viewing position, whose distance equals less than 0.1, so we'll probably want an @ here. Execute at any player as any player who's viewing the map at that player, unless they are right next to the viewing item display. Then what we'll do is we'll run function view map. I spot that mistake there. So we're basically saying, hey, look, you're too far away, because remember when we pressed shift, it moved us just a little bit, but that's enough that this will find it and say, you've got that tag, you should be spectating it. So we'll run the view map. We're not going to bother updating the map, we'll just run the view map. And now we want to reduce that cooldown. So we'll execute if score input cooldown var matches 1 or higher, run scoreboard players remove input cooldown var 1. Okay, spot the mistakes. So if input cooldown is higher than 1, remove 1. So it'll go down to 0 and stop. That seems all right. What's next? Let's do tick input. Let's do this tick input here. Tick input. In fact, actually, let's just do say hi. Save. Let's go and do some testing just in case. We'll do a reload. Whoop. Now remember, I still had that tag, so as soon as I pressed reload, it went, hello, you're too far away from the item display. You should be viewing it. Let's press right. I says hi, expected. If we press left, hi, expected. If we press jump, hi, expected. Okay, all of those expected. If we press shift, I can't actually get away from the thing. No, can't escape. Cool, okay. I am actually trapped now, so I will just press escape. I could remove the tag from myself. That would be fine. Or I could disable the data pack, but no, don't need to. Let's keep going. Right, what do we want to do then? If they're on cooldown, let's execute. We could have done this... Oh, dear me. We could have done this check here. We could have checked here if the cooldown, but we're putting it in here. Execute if score... What on earth is going on there? Execute if score input cooldown var matches 1 or higher. Run, return, exit this function, and we'll just say fail. We're not doing anything with the return value anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so if it has a cooldown currently active, we are not going to do anything. If it doesn't have a cooldown currently active, then we're going to give it a cooldown. Scoreboard, players. We want operation, input, cooldown, var equals, and in load, that's where we set one up. So we could have just put, we could have just set it here to the number, but I like to put it in the load, because then if you wanted to change a load of settings, you can change them all in the same place. So we'll get the name. There we go. Let's grab that. Copy. There we go. So the cooldown is now set to the map input cooldown. Now, well, let's check what actual key they did press. Let's be more specific now. Was it left, right, or jump? So let's execute as... In fact, I don't think we need as. If predicate, and let's check. I don't know which one we check first. Whichever one we hit. Right. Okay. Execute if predicate input right. Are they pressing the right key? If they are, then run the function from our control. So right key, for me, that seems like the next location. Left will be the last location or previous location. And if they press space, it'll be select location to travel to. So let's copy this select next location. Then I'm going to home, copy, end, paste, paste. Input left. Input jump. So if they press left, we want to go to the previous location. And if they press jump, we just want to select the location they're at. Okay, let's test these. So next location, say right. Previous location, say left. Hey, say left. And select location, say jump. Save that. Go back to the game. Okay, reload. So let's press right. Right. And now the cooldown is working. It's not spamming. I'll keep my finger on it. We can see how often it's hitting. Okay, if we didn't have that cooldown, that would just spam the chat really quickly, and that's what we wanted to stop with that cooldown. So right works. What about left? Yeah, left. And what about up? We didn't do up. What about jump? Okay, cool. Nice. Let's go back. Well, I suppose instead of saying something, we better actually do something. So we're getting to the more complicated parts now. Let's do select next location so we can cycle through. So I think I might make myself some notes. Right, what do we want to do? We want to get the index of the current selected location. So get index current selected. That's some good spelling and stuff going on there. Then we want to increment that location. So if we're at 0, so if we get 0, we're obviously going to be going off to 1. So let's increment index. But what if there's 3 locations and we add one to it and it goes to number 4? We need to cycle back to the beginning. So if index is too high, reset. That'll do. Trying to remember how to get a hash sign then. And then we'll clear some temporary data. Clear temp data. We will copy the current index. Copy current active index. And then we want to move the marker. Okay. Move marker. Get the current index selected. Okay, so we've stored that already in ID map selected location. I think we were doing that in the macro. ID map selected location. So we've got it there. So when they first enter the map, it's going to grab that, and that's going to be what's stored here. So now we're going to grab that again and do something with it. We're going to execute store result as a score, current index, var run data get from storage ID map. What on earth did I just looked at it. Selected location, wasn't it? Selected location. Okay. Now we've got it as a score. We can increment it nice and easily. We can add to it. So we'll do scoreboard players add current index var 1. And now we need to check, is it too high? Because if it is too high, we want to reset. So execute if score current active index var. We just call it now. We've just called it current. We should call it current active index. I don't know what happened to you. There we go. That's better. Current active index. I prefer that name. Now execute if that score is higher than the active location amount, and we set that as well. I think in the macro markers macro active location amount. There it is. So if our current active index is higher than the amount of active locations, then what we need to do is run scoreboard players set current active index to 0. So let's say we have 3. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, back round to the beginning again. So we can cycle through them all. Okay, let's clear some temporary data. Data remove from storage. ID temp marker. Let's copy some stuff that we want. Execute store result into storage. ID temp marker. Dot current active index, we'll call it the same name. We're putting it into storage. That means we can pass it brain fail. What do we need? Install it as an integer, we'll times it by 1. Run scoreboard players get current active index var 1. Okay, so we're getting the active index, we're adding 1 to it. If it's higher than the end of the active location array, we're cycling back to the beginning of the array, and then we're storing it into some temporary storage. And then what we're going to do is we'll do function select new location in it with storage ID temp marker, and that will give us access to what's inside ID temp marker, and what is inside there is the current active index. Let's save that. I think I'm going to close down some windows. Okay, so I'm going to open up the one we just did. Select new location. Okay, so now we're going off to select new location in it. Let's open that. Right, in here, what do we want to do? We want to get location index from list of current locations. Update the location data and move the marker. So we will do a data modify storage ID temp marker dot current location index set from storage ID map active markers and we will be using the current active index we just passed across and update the location data modify storage ID map selected location is going to change, set value to the oh, I saw you there, just looked up and spotted you, current active index, because I'm going to copy you. Copy. Move the marker, the function, functino. What do we want to do for moving the marker? Select new location in it, so we want to select new location macro. We want to pass it some data with storage ID temp marker, so that should have access to the current active index and a current location index. Okay, now in the macro, boink, what do we want to do here? We want to store the data, store some data, display name, and update the marker. Let's store some data. Data modify storage ID temp marker dot x set from storage ID map locations open and close dot x. In here we will have current location index, copy that, two more because we also want the y and we want the z, we want the y, we want the z. That seems right. Let's display the name as well, not a capital T. Title S, action bar, no, action bar. Open and close. In here we'll have some text and we'll grab some information from storage as well. So we'll have text, we'll give it a color and we'll say it's bold. Text, press jump to go to. That'll do. Color, dark green, bold. In fact, if it's bold, if we're doing bold, we don't need those because we're just going to say true. Now we want to get some data from storage. So which piece of storage, which path from storage, from ID temp, no, from ID map, because we want the name, ID map. The NVT path will be locations, open and close, and it will be the current location index. Copy that, put it in there, save that, update the marker. Now I think we already have a marker updater, set selected location. Here it is in our update already. So let's copy that. And we'll function, run that. We'll pass storage, ID, temp, marker. Ooh, okay, that's a long one. Let's go and find out. Fingers crossed. I don't want to troubleshoot this one. Reload. Left, left, up, up, down, nothing, jump, and right does nothing at all. Wonderful. So we are troubleshooting. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. Tick input. We knew that was working. We knew when we pressed right, it said right. So select next location. Select next location. Are we getting in here? Let's see. Select next location. New location in its new location macro. Let's check those functions exist. Function. In control. I'm going to say they don't because that seems very short. Select next location does not exist. So we have a mistake in here that I will have to troubleshoot. I think what we'll do, since we can't do any checking in here because it's not updated, let's take this command over to Minecraft, put it in there. Okay, it doesn't throw up any errors on that one. Do you know, I'm even going to take the simple commands as well. Sometimes it is the simplest things that are the problem. No, that one seems happy. Okay, let's try this one. Copy that, take it over. Okay, it's not throwing up any errors. We're hoping that one of them will throw up an error. Data removed from storage. Come on, it can't be this one. This one's so short. There we go. Is it this one? var1. Okay. There's our mistake. We just want to get the value from there. We're not adding or doing anything to it, so we take that away. Yeah, there we go. We want to store the result. Get current active index var. Let's save that. Are we lucky? Is it just one mistake? Let's reload. I pressed right. Oh, I've gone off. I've gone off to... Oh my god. I don't know where I've gone. Did you see our action bar? Default block color red, default glow. I think we're getting all the information, not just the name. Okay, I think we can fix that pretty easily. But we are cycling through. If I keep my finger on it, there's our cooldown in effect. We cycle through slowly. Okay, let's fix that name. Is that in the macro? Select new location macro? No. Select. What? Where did I put that? I thought it was in here. Select new location macro. Why is there nothing in here? Did we do... Oh, we put it in select location macro. We've put it in the wrong place. Okay, it's working, which is nice. Let's get it. Let's take it out of there where it shouldn't be. Save that. Select new location macro. Put it in there. Save that. So we better check new location in it. There we go. Save that. Right, it's in the right place now. But we are calling the wrong thing here. NBT locations. So we're getting everything from the location. What we should be saying is dot name. Okay. Oh no. I always press that one. Now I'm not viewing the map. There we go. Right. Let's just what we press right. Hey, there we go. Press jump to go to London, New Zealand, Easter Island, New York, London. Okay, so we can cycle through one way. Let's cycle through the other way. Now it should be getting easier now. Let's Control KW that. What I'm going to do is I am going to copy, select next location, because a lot of it's going to be the same. Copy. We know what happens when we do this. It all goes wrong. Select previous location. Let's put it in there. We're also going around the other way now. So we'll still get the index. We're not going to increment though. We're obviously going to decrement instead. So this won't be add. This will be remove. Now the problem won't be that we go too high. The problem that will be we go past 0. So executive score current active index var matches less than -1 or less. So it's gone to 0. We take another one. So it's 0 is the last one in the list. We take another one off. It goes, I'm on -1. That's too low. We need to set it to the one that's at the top of the list. So run scoreboard players operation current active index dot var equals the active location amount dot var. Save. Let me think. I think that might be it. I'm going to go and check it. Back to game. Reload. Okay, it's not working. I can go right. Left is not working. Hey, come on. Come on now. We didn't really change much. Scoreboard remove current. Okay, let's get this command here. Copy. Let's take it back into Minecraft. Back to game. Paste it in there. Oh, there we go. What have we got here? We haven't said which. We've said the player, but we haven't said which scoreboard objective. var. Save. Back. Reload. Now I can go left. Cycle one way, or I can go right and cycle the other way. I can cycle through my locations. Okay, nice. Now we need to be able to select a location. Escape. Let's go back. Okay, what happens when you select a location? So, tick input. When you press jump, run select location. Okay, select location, say jump. What do we want to do? Set the current location to the player's location if it doesn't already exist. Now the reason we're doing this is because if you join the map and you don't actually cycle left or right, it sort of won't know where you are to teleport you to a place. So let's say execute unless data storage id temp marker dot current active index run. So if there isn't anything in current active index, because remember we were setting that as we were cycling through. So if we haven't actually pressed, we've just viewed the map, we've not done any cycling, which means this data doesn't exist, in which case what we'll do is we'll run data modify storage ID temp. Can I just copy the name? I don't think it's quicker. It just feels like less work. Set from storage ID map player location. And now we need to select a location. Yeah, okay, so function select location macro. And we're going to pass it with storage ID temp marker. Okay, so if we have been cycling through, this piece of storage will exist and we'll send it off to the next function. If we haven't been cycling through, this won't exist, in which case we'll just get the player's location and send that off to the next function. Okay, let's go. Save that one. Set location macro. What are we going to do in here? A title. I'll just put title. Clear the action bar. Clear action bar. Store some data. Store some data. Set the player's new location. Set new location. And teleport the player. Okay, title. So I think set up some times. Title at S times, I don't know, quarter of a second, 2 seconds, quarter of a second. So that's the fade in time. 5 ticks. How long does it stay for? 40 ticks. Takes 5 ticks to fade out. And we'll do title at S title open and close. I just want to send them the name, really, so it's going to be some storage. So storage name, MBT path, storage from the ID map. NBT would be from the locations, list of locations. The location would be the current location index. Don't forget to put dot name, that's it, dot name on the end. Let's give it a color as well. Color dark green. I think that's right. But let's do a test. Let's test what we've got. Reload. So now if I cycle through somewhere, okay, we can go somewhere. If I press space, it should just put a big title up saying London. Yes. And if we have the little action bar down there and I press the button, the action bar should be cleared. No, because we haven't done that yet. Okay, let's do that bit. Let's clear that action bar. That should be pretty simple. We should just do title at S, action bar, and we'll just set it to no text at all. Okay, let's test that. So I can cycle, it'll display the action bar. If I press space, the action bar disappears instantly. Cool. Nice. Ooh, what's this place? Ah, it's Easter Island. And what's this over here? Ah, it's New Zealand. We've got a geography quiz. Okay. Let's store some data because we're going to need to know where to teleport the player to. So we'll grab that now. We'll do a data modify storage ID temp destination dot x set from storage ID map locations dot destination 0. Let's get my let's copy that, put that in there. Okay, Yeah, that's all right. So destination X is set from locations, current location index, destination 0. Let's have a look at the data. So let's say we're going to be checking for current index 0. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go do. We're going to go to destination. The first element 0 in the array. We'll grab the 36. So now we just need to grab 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. So we'll just copy that. Paste, 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 paste. We will be getting 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll be getting the X, the Y, the Z, and I'm pretty sure that yaw comes first and pitch is second. Okay, let's save that. And we'll set that as the player's current location. Data, modify, storage, ID map, selected location as an integer, times it by 1, run the scoreboard, players get current active index var, and we will execute store result into storage ID map. Actually, this one here, first one, this one should be a player location, I think. In fact, actually, I think I've just mixed up two commands together. Let me start here. I think I've just combined two commands in my head just together there. Set new location. So we want to modify the storage ID map, the player location, and we want to set the value of that. Yeah, and then we set the value of that to the current location index. That's what we want. That's one of them. Player location's current location index. Cool. Okay. And then we want to set the selected location, which marker on the map is currently selected. So that one is execute store a result storage ID map selected location integer, times it by 1, run scoreboard, players get current index.var. Do we have a copy of? No, I'll have to actually write it. Current index, no, current active index. var. Save. Seems all right. Teleport. Let's teleport the player. Function. Teleport player. And now we have access to all this data to teleport them to. We've got inside ID temp destination. So let's copy that. Copy. With storage ID temp destination. Let's save that. Let's go to teleport player. Right. If they're teleporting the player, let's change them into adventure mode. Game mode. Adventure at S. No, I don't want you to say. There we go. Thank you. Better remove the tag so they're not teleported straight back to the viewing the map again. I'm going to give them blindness. It seems a bit mean. It's just to sort of, have a bit of an effect, rather than just suddenly hard cut from one place to another. It'll just sort of distract the player's eyes a bit. Obviously, you don't have to if you don't want to. Let's say 1, 5, hide the particles true. And we better teleport the player. So that would be using the macro. We will teleport the player, and we had it saved as X, Y, Z, your, pitch. Yeah, you had to get one wrong, didn't you? There we go. Pitch. Save. I kind of got the feeling we're done. Let's go. Back. Reload. Okay, I'm in London. Let's go to New York. Ooh, I'm in New York. Okay. Map's not updated, so obviously you're not going to teleport the player. So they're do you know what I'm going to do, just as a test, while we're testing? I'm going to change this to creative. There we go. Teleport player, put me in creative, so I don't have to keep changing my game mode. Okay, so obviously you're not going to teleport the player, so they're looking at the map. So we don't have to worry about the fact that it still says I'm in London. We don't care. We'll update the map later. So I'm in New York. I explore New York. I've had enough of New York now. You see the map's updated. As I cycle off, we go round. Yeah. Okay, New York is green because that's where I am. Let's go to Easter Island. We're in Easter Island. And then for some reason we find some knowledge that removes New Zealand from the map. We go back to them. Did I not do a reload? Because I'm still getting put into adventure mode. We go back to the map. We got no New Zealand now. Okay, we cycle. Can we go to London? Then, oh. And if we don't cycle and don't move, can we just press space? Okay, go back to London. Although that didn't seem to work. I don't press anything, I press space. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. I'm not happy about that because that was right at the end. And we've got one bug there that's not working. Select location macro. No, select location here. That did not seem to work. What is it? Select location. Execute unless data storage ID temp marker current active index. Run. Data modify storage. ID temp marker current set from storage ID map. Player location. The annoying thing is that seems exactly correct. Let us pop back. ID map, player location copy, reload, data get 0. Well, that's where I am. So why did you not copy across to temp marker current active index? Copy. Says 0. Why can't I go there? Okay, we've got current active index, but the location macro is using current location index, isn't it? Yeah, so let's take that and change you, save that, pop back to game. So we're at East Island. Let's go back to East Island. If I don't press any cycling, we just press space again. We're at Easter Island. Okay, let's check it somewhere else. We're in London. Let's go back to London. Let's just press it again. And we're back to London. Okay. There we go. A bit of a long one. Anyway, that was my idea for a travelling map inspired by Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I suppose there's nothing to stop you saying, oh, I'll travel to the Mediterranean, and then you change the map as well. Completely change the map and which markers are active, and you could have like a zoom in map or a zoom out map. You could have a map of the solar system, different planet. I don't know, but that's my idea for a travelling map. We might come back and visit it. It might be nice to have some animations or something. There's like a little particle effect going between each location as you travel. I have no plans for that at the moment, though. Anyway, it's been a long one. I'll let you go. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.